Hello, I'm Laurie McMenemy. Welcome to The Ugly Inside. Subscribe below.
Welcome back to The Ugly Inside television, and like buses and taxis, when you wait for years for one to come along, all of a sudden two legends come along in one day, and here we are, Matt Le Tissier on the couch.
Cheers, Clive.
Legend. I don't think we need to say much about his career with Saints. We all know what he's done. We all idolise him. The whole area idolises him for keeping us up in the top division for so many years. Matt, recently we're talking about the League Cup and the build-up to the League Cup final. What was it like at Anfield? We've got this picture of Carragher, you and Carragher, and it's a fantastic picture. How was it in the studio there?
It was amazing. I mean, my nerves were shattered the whole night because he is just one goal away from it, kind of handing all the initiative to Liverpool. So any time they got near the 18-yard box, I was like, and just counted down the minutes and and the relief when we broke and scored that goal was just unbelievable. And that second that the ball at the net, you kind of realise we're going to Wembley, and that was like, whoa, brilliant.
Yeah. How good was that goal from Josh? I mean, the run from Josh.
I thought he showed fantastic composure for a lad of his age. I thought he showed real maturity in the way that he cut across the midfielder as he's going just over the halfway line. Weight of pass to Shane, and just a terrific finish as well.
Yeah. And the same question as I asked Laurie earlier on. You've got to the final. There's euphoria, but then there's that realisation you've got Manchester United, not just the biggest club in England, but one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Yeah.
How mentally? How do you? Because you've got to go there and think you're going to win.
Yes,
like Shannon said in '76. It's no good getting there.
That's exactly
We've got to go
right.
and win
it. As a player, you have to have that winning attitude, mentality. I think, yes, it's great to get to a final, but if you kind of lose it kind of loses a lot of its shine. You know, you kind of look back to the Arsenal game in 2003, and you kind of don't look back on it with any great fondness, really, because of the result. So it's important to go out and win. And yes, they're on a great run in the Premier League at the moment, but the fact that Hull beat them shows that they're vulnerable in places, and we can take advantage of that.
Where do you think they're vulnerable?
I think United's strengths probably lie in their attack. I think they have got some very good quality forwards. Mkhitaryan's a very good footballer, coming into a little bit of form. Zlatan's been terrific all season. So going forward, they're quite strong. I still believe that the defence is the weakest part of Manchester United. I think there's chances to get at them. They've got a very good goalkeeper, unfortunately. He takes them getting past. But it's not impossible.
If you had to take a penalty against him, where would you put it?
That's a good question.
Would you wait for him to move?
I probably would. That was kind of what I tried to do. But a lot of the time you kind of stand over a penalty and you kind of let instinct take over sometimes. And as long as you keep your mind free and relaxed, you can send the goalkeeper the wrong way with either something that you do, or you spot him move a little bit early and you can send him the wrong way. But my preferred choice was always to go to the goalkeeper's left.
Back to the League Cup final. Obviously, we're massive underdogs. And the fans, we're going to have 32,000 there. United have got their allocation, but probably out of those extra 20,000, United are going to snap up a lot of those neutral tickets. What would your message be to the Saints fans going to that game?
I think my message would probably be just be as loud as you possibly can. You kind of, from the players' perspective, I think sometimes the fans don't actually realise just how much of an influence they can have on the team by the vocal support that they can give, how much it lifts a player to know that your entire backing is 110% behind you and right, just backing you all the way to the hill, and it does lift the players, and I think the fans need to realise that sometimes. You experienced Wembley with the ZDS. I did,
against Forest, which again was a cracking game.
It was.
What were your experiences of that day?
Well, my experiences, first of all, were we got absolutely battered in the first half, and it could have been 7-0 at half time. Tim Flowers was brilliant that day. He made some incredible saves, and at 2-0 down at half time, he kept us in the game, and it was almost like, blimey, we should be out of sight here. let's go out and give it a go. And you know, we managed to get one goal back with a very rare header from me, and then Kevin Moore, God bless him, rose brilliantly, got us back in the game, but we just couldn't go on and find that third one, and got beaten.
And the atmosphere when you're walking up that tunnel, how you've been to Wembley a few times, obviously.
Yeah. Amazing.
How does that?
It was incredible. I mean, I can always remember going as a kid and having the tour of Wembley when it was empty.
Yeah.
But when you walked out the tunnel, they played a recording of the crowd noise. So you kind of, as a little kid, you kind of got an idea of what it was like.
Yeah.
And then when you get to do it for real, it was just like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah.
It really was amazing. The support that day was fantastic, as it was in the JPT back in 2010. You know, the crowd were absolutely superb. The Sea of Yellow in 2003 was a sight that I was down the other end of the stadium in the TV studio, and kind of looking back towards that end where it was all in yellow was just amazing. So, you know, the same support again would be fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. And getting back to today's team, who are the key players for us? Now that we're obviously suffering from injuries quite a bit.
Yes, yeah, we are. I think we've obviously lost our best defender, which was a big blow. He's obviously not going to be fit for the final, so that's a big shame. I think if we're going to win this cup final, I think the goalkeeper has to have a good game. I think of the attackers, I'd probably say possibly Shane Long. I think might, you know, on a big pitch at Wembley, be able to stretch a team. I think his energy levels, his desire, just might make a little bit of a difference in that game.
Yeah. So, since the end of your career, you've obviously made a career in punditry. How's that come about in the first place?
It came about because just before I retired, Sky asked me to do a midweek soccer special, and I went on and I did one of those, and I quite enjoyed it. And then they kind of, after I retired, they'd ask me to fill in sometimes when George Best or Rodney Marsh were away on holiday. So I kind of did it occasionally, and then when Rodney made his mistake with the joke about the tsunami all those years ago, and then he was sacked, and that's when Sky came to me and said, do you fancy doing it every weekend?
And is it as much fun as it looks?
Probably more fun, actually, to be honest. I know everybody says what a great time we have, but I think sometimes some of the stuff off the camera and during the adverts are actually funnier than what actually happens when the cameras are rolling.
Fantastic. So Gary Neville's made a comment recently about the Arsenal Fan TV, and their criticism of their manager. Well, we've probably got a similar situation here, but our fans haven't been so critical of Claude Puel. Obviously, he's having a hard time. Do you not think fans have a right to give their opinions?
Of course they do. Of course they do. Everyone's got a right to have an opinion.
I mean, Gary, to be fair to Gary, he's said that he would go on Arsenal TV and give his reasons.
I saw that.
So I don't expect you to criticise a fellow pundit, but you know.
I was surprised he said it, to be honest. I was a little bit surprised because, you know, these people pay good money to go and watch their football team or follow their football team. And the world we live in this day and age, everybody has got an opinion. You know, social media means that their opinions can go out there and can be heard by thousands and thousands, and, you know, read by literally thousands, and sometimes in the millions if it's controversial enough. It goes viral. So it's a changing world. It really is. And I think I have plenty of debates with other Saints fans on Twitter. You know, and I'm quite happy to sit and have a debate with them. I'm more than happy to put my point of view across. I'll listen to their point of view. I'm quite happy to give a counter argument, and then you kind of come to an agreement that you might agree to disagree, or you might have a point that makes them go, oh, hang on a minute, you know, that you might have a point there, and somebody might do the same to me. And I'm quite happy to have an opinion. If somebody can give me a valid reason why my opinion is wrong, I'm not big enough to go, well, I ain't changing my opinion. That's me. If somebody gives me a good enough reason, I'm quite happy to go, do you know what? Fair play, you got a fair point there. And I think that's how social media should be. Right. Unfortunately,
it does get a bit
people will have an opinion, and somebody will have a different opinion.
I'm right,
and they can't actually have a reasonable debate without actually getting into a slagging match, name calling, and people blocking each other. You know, and I think I'm quite a fair person. I'll listen to people. You know, even if I get abuse on there sometimes, but you've got to have a sense of humour.
Yeah,
you've got to take it on the chin sometimes.
It's like dressing room banter, I guess.
Exactly, and that's why I don't mind the social media side of things, because I've got the right attitude towards it.
Fantastic. Well, lastly, obviously it's been like a helter-skelter season for Saints. We've been up and down those feelings and emotions.
Yes.
What do you make of it? What do you make of it?
What do I make of it? I think this season has been a very different season to what we've experienced the last 2 or 3 years. Mainly because I think the style of play has changed, and I think the style of play changed because of the fact that we had so many more games this season, and you can see the point behind the rotation system. Personally, I think it's gone too far in terms of the rotation. I think it's been too extreme, and I think that has led to a lack of cohesion in the side, and players not playing with each other often enough to be able to get to know the intricacies of everybody's game. You know, and I think that has, for me, one of the reasons why we're in the position we are in the league, because we haven't had that consistency.
Are you worried about our league position?
I don't think we get relegated. No, if that's what you're asking me.
Just seeing how you think that it's going to pan out for the rest of the season.
We've had a poor spell. Poor spells don't last forever.
No.
Just like the good spells don't last forever.
No, true.
And I think you kind of have to be a little bit realistic about where we are, where we've come from, what we've done the last few seasons. It's still possible this season to finish in the top half of the table and win a major trophy. We've only ever won one in our history. If we were to win another one and finish in the top half of the Premier League this season, that for me would be a fantastic season. However, if it goes the other way and we don't win at Wembley, and we have a poor end to the season and we finish in the bottom half, then given what's happened the last 3 years, that's going to be viewed as a very poor season. And the club have higher ambitions than finishing in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
It's in the balance.
It's very fair.
It's in the balance.
Yeah.
And
so give us a rallying. Give us a rallying cry for Wembley. Come on.
Well, do you know? I think you've only got to look at what Hull did to Manchester United in the second leg when they put them under a little bit of pressure. There's vulnerabilities there. We've got good enough players who, on their day, we've just beaten Liverpool home and away in the semi-final. If that's not enough to give everybody confidence that we can go to that final and win it, then I don't know what is.
Okay, Matt Le Tissier, thank you so much. You've been a star.
Pleasure, mate.